For Principles of Engineering, we're going to talk a little bit about how to wire the solar powered cars. It's a very simple, this one has 2 solar panels on it, and there's 2 different ways that you could hook up these solar panels. You could try to hook them up in series, or you could hook them up in parallel. These 2 are hooked up in parallel to each other. If I look at the top of the breadboard, I can see that the positive power terminal and the negative terminal are hooked up on this side, and the positive and the negative terminal are hooked up on this side. You don't have to keep these separated from each other. This was just a design decision that this team made up. These things are held on by duct tape, so it's not super fancy. But we've got one lead going into the motor from the negative side and one from the positive side, and that's all that you need in order to really get this stuff wired together. The electricity will go through the positive lead and then in through the motor and then back around and then through the negative, and on the bottom your motor will turn whatever gears you have underneath there. For the solar car, one of the hardest things is to make sure that you have as little friction as possible. Sometimes even having too many bearings might actually make a difference. Your car should be able to move regularly. Now this one has like a whole lot of friction to it, so whenever I try to push it, it has a lot of friction to it. I can actually see this belt going down there at the bottom. So make sure that you have as little friction as humanly possible, and also make sure that your gear ratio is not too high. This one is, I think, a 1-to-3 gear ratio. This is for high speed, and this can be a little bit of a problem because the solar panels don't really pull that much voltage to it. So this car, if it runs at all, will run very, very slowly, even with the high speed gear. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. There's your general idea on how to get these solar cars wired. Have a great day, and we'll talk later.